Gentlewoman from Michigan, Ms. Tlaib, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Maloney. Federal whistleblowers often provide key information about waste, fraud, abuse in our government at great personal risk. Far too often, these individuals who are literally putting their well-being, the well-being of our country ahead of their careers and self-interest face retaliation and abuse from those in positions of power in both the public and private sectors. The members of this committee have seen this abuse firsthand, from airport employees moved hundreds of miles away to new duty stations for reporting concerns with security flaws, as well as White House supervisor moving files beyond the reach of a disabled employee who raised the alarm about security clearances issues. In my district alone, we've heard from census workers who were fired for reporting problems in census data collection, and EPA employees punished for requesting to be safe in the workplace because of air quality concerns. I knew this was important when this specific act by the leader under the leadership of Chairwoman Maloney. I knew this was important when a federal employee who called me directly to tell me, whispering to me, that ICE agents were patrolling residential communities and profiling my neighbors. That agent was so incredibly afraid to come forward because there aren't enough protections, especially in agencies like ICE that have gone unchecked. A key reform that was left out of the Whistleblower Protection Enhancement Act of 2012 was the right of federal employees who blow the whistle to have their case heard by a jury rather than a judge. So Ms. Hipowicz, could you briefly explain why it's important that whistleblowers have the right to a jury trial?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. I think there's two very important reasons at the moment. The first and most pressing is that the bureaucratic body that exists right now to hear a whistleblower's retaliation complaint has no members and hasn't had a single member in 3 years. So it's been without a quorum for 4 years. That means that any whistleblower coming forward right now with a complaint of retaliation goes to the end of an over 3,000 person line or case line, and so they're effectively shut out of relief. But even more, even if there was a fully functioning Merit Systems Protection Board, frankly, it has not always been the most friendly place to whistleblowers. Even now, the Merit Systems Protection Board is, the Office of Special Counsel recently reached out to the Merit Systems Protection Board and filed an amicus brief urging the Merit Systems Protection Board to stop asking whistleblowers to meet a legal standard that is nowhere in the law. So it's, I just think for those two reasons, it's not functioning, and even when it is functioning, it's not always there operating with the interests of whistleblowers or taxpayers in mind.
And you mentioned, I'm so glad, because this was my next question. The Merit Systems Protection Board, does not issue, if they don't issue a decision in a timely manner, there should be all these processes in place in this bill, but it hasn't lacked quorum, like you said, since 2017 and hasn't had a single board member since 2019. Why do you think that's the case right now?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's just speculation, but I think it's not the most important thing to a president to make sure that this board is staffed. I was very excited to see President Biden put forth a nominee last week, but it's just one of 3. And so I would urge the White House to quickly follow up and make 2 more qualified nominations for the Senate to consider expeditiously.
Yeah, I hope my colleagues heard that. I think we can definitely work with this administration to make that happen. I know strengthening the whistleblower protection against retaliation has strong support, is critically important to protect our country from harm. I want to point out that in October 2020, there was a poll that found 86% of Americans, our neighbors across the country, believe that there should be a stronger legal protection for whistleblowers who report government fraud. So I hope my colleagues, all of us, would continue to support the Whistleblower Protection Improvement Act, which we all believe very much is long overdue and must be enacted. And I thank you again, Chairwoman Maloney, for your leadership, and I yield back.
The lady yields back. The gentleman from South Carolina, Mr. Norman, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Maloney.